We're going to run through this fight and break down Floyd's patterns. He has quite a few, but we'll see a lot of reoccurring sequences. All right, enough said. Let's get into it and start right here. Now, Floyd's head is over his lead foot. Note this little rear foot step up right here. Now he's going to drop his weight to the right side of his line, then push off this rear foot, lift this lead foot, and then snapping out that jab. And then let's go ahead and fast forward through this section to here. All right, Floyd's going to step forward right here. Now, his head's over his lead foot. Notice the small rear foot step up so he can throw out his folding rear straight. He's going to land right here, and he's going to pendulum forward off of that lead foot. And with his weight still on that lead foot, it allows him to bring his rear foot back. Then he's going to drop to the right side of his line so he could fire out that rear foot jab. We'll speed through this little part. Okay, so Floyd's head's over his lead foot, which allows him to do this little pendulum step right here. Now note he kept his head over his lead foot because he's looking to set up a pull counter. Larry's going to commit his lead as Floyd pulls and then comes back with his rear cross. Now Floyd's going to get back to this lead foot so he can flick out that jab. Okay, let's buzz through this section. Now Floyd's on the right side of his line. He's going to feint high with his jab while pushing off his rear foot, but then commit the jab to the body. And we're going to see that exact same sequence a second time. So high, then low. Now Floyd got back to his lead foot. He already did a small rear foot step up. He's going to throw out his rear straight and then check out this forearm control. And then he's going to throw his lead hook and then rear straight. And then we'll buzz through this little section. All right, notice how Floyd gets his head over his lead foot. He's going to flick out that jab. Now, Larry's going to drop and then counter with a rear straight. And we're going to see Floyd pull right here. Okay, let's cruise. So Floyd's on the right side of his line. Larry's going to commit his lead as Floyd slips inside. And a quick mention, remember this moment, it's a little foreshadowing. He'll then pull and then drop. And check out this little rear foot step up. And he's going to get his head over his lead foot so he could snap out that backhanded jab. And let's speed through this section right here. Now Floyd's head's over his lead foot, and check out his rear foot. It's off the ground, meaning all his weight is on that lead foot. Larry's going to go ahead and throw his rear cross while Floyd pulls to his rear foot. And not only pulls, but brings his lead hook with him. And then he's going to follow up with a rear uppercut and then get caught with Larry's counter hook. And let's speed this up a bit. All right, so remember a little bit earlier, Floyd slipped inside Larry's jab. Well, the same thing is going to happen here. And just like before, Floyd is looking for the hook to the body. But Larry made an adjustment. Instead of just throwing this jab, he's going to follow up with a rear cross. So think of beat 1 as the jab for Larry and the slip for Floyd, and beat 2 as the rear cross for Larry and the hook to the body for Floyd. So who wins that race? And it's Larry. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Floyd starts bringing out his high guard right here after getting caught. And we're going to see it again right here. Now, notice Floyd's head is over his lead foot. He's in a jab and then look to catch the counter jab from Larry. And then he's going to get back to that lead foot right here so he could flick out that backhanded jab. And then we'll buzz through this section. Okay, so Floyd's on the right side of his line. He's going to move his head over his lead foot while swinging his rear foot behind him so he could flick out that jab. Now, Larry's going to go ahead and throw his rear cross, and Floyd's going to drop straight down, getting under it. Then we're going to get to this next little section. Now note, head's over his lead foot. We're going to see a little rear foot step up, and then as soon as this lead foot lands, he's going to throw a leaping hook. And then check out this forearm control. And then let's get going again to right here. All right, so we've seen this pattern a little bit earlier. Floyd's weight is on his lead foot. So check out how his rear foot's off the ground. Now, Larry's going to throw a rear cross, and as he does, Floyd's going to pull to his rear foot. And once again, he's going to bring that lead hook with him. Then he's going to get back to this lead foot, do a rear foot step up, and then flick out that jab. Larry here is going to counter, and then Floyd's going to pull to his rear foot. And then let's rock and roll all the way through till right here. So Floyd's on the right side of his line. He'll do a little pendulum step right here. Then he's going to flick out his jab. And then he's going to pull from Larry's rear hand counter to his rear foot. And then let's speed this up a little bit. We'll buzz through this part until we get right here. Okay, Floyd's back on the right side, and this is a reoccurring pattern. Larry's going to commit that jab as Floyd slips to his lead foot, looking to throw that hook to the body. So the question is this: will Larry follow up with his rear cross? And the answer is nope. Floyd was looking for that hook to the body, and then I'll follow up with a hook to the head. And then we'll keep this moving. Now Floyd's over his lead foot, and he's looking to set up his pull counter. But this time Larry feints, which triggers Floyd's trap. And so he'll throw that pull counter, Larry pulls, and Floyd will continue through, weaving to his rear foot. Now Floyd will get back to that lead foot, and he's going to throw an up jab and then pull from that counter. And let's go right here. And we've seen this pattern earlier too. Floyd will get his head over his lead foot, do a little rear foot step up, and then throw out that rear straight, and then get back to that lead foot. Now, Larry's going to throw his rear cross, and once again, Floyd will pull with his lead hook, and then he's going to follow up with a rear uppercut. And then let's move through this section to right here. Okay, and more reoccurring patterns. Floyd's on the right side of his line, and he'll get his head to his lead foot and then flick out that backhanded jab. And let's buzz through this. And more of the same, Floyd will step to his lead foot and then another little rear foot step up and snap out that jab. And then he's going to pull that counter. And then let's get to the next spot. Now you'll see how comfortable Floyd is. He's going to get to that lead foot and feint that backhanded jab right here, which is just a trap. Larry's going to bite. Floyd will pull to his rear foot with that hook again, and there it is. Now we'll get to the last clip of the day. It's going to be something new. Just going to take a second to get there. And we are there. Okay, this last one is in honor of John Scully. Sorry, can't help it, John. Note Floyd's in his high guard, head over that lead foot. Larry will jab. And notice Floyd is defending that lead foot. He isn't pulling to his rear foot. And the reason is this: he's setting up another trap. Larry will attack again, but this time Floyd will pull to his rear foot and bring that lead hook with him. And that's all I got.